So I wanted to do 3 things today. First, I want to talk about the mystical itinerary. And I want to know, let's see, at the beginning of the path, what is right effort, Clara?
It's to want to be, to have something else, maybe questioning, to put yourself in a situation where you can do practice in terms of externals.
External. So what is right effort at the beginning of the path?
Personal activities.
She's answering.
Focusing.
I didn't call on you. What?
It's refocusing or focusing on something that's what we think at that moment, at that stage, is going to take us down a spiritual path.
Someone else? Yeah.
Maybe sensory experiences, like things that ritual, like things like church, things that are external, that you can focus on, that you may even consider. Well, I would consider pleasurable, but it would be like something that at least focusing on a sort of more positive thing. Would you say?
That's going to.
God is external.
God is external. It's using externals. So it's redirecting attention to the ritual, anything that's going to redirect your interest toward God externally. That would be, again, using what vehicle? 5 senses. So right effort is what at the beginning?
External 5 senses.
Redirecting your 5 senses toward what? God. Really? Toward God?
Yeah.
Come on.
It's usually more like symbols of God.
Symbols of God.
Idea of God.
No.
Not yet.
First. You can't just say first level. You got to know what it actually is. You have to know what right effort is. And you need to be able to articulate it. So again, what is it? First level, right effort.
Redirecting our attention to external, to God in external form.
Nope. Harold was close in that it's symbol, it's representation, it's things that will interest. So if I look at that incense burner over there, is that going to do it for somebody who just walks in from somewhere? No. So you're going to have to know, but what might it do?
It might remind them of all their time in church, focusing on prayer and talking about God.
It would be an aesthetic, and it's so when you go to beauty or pleasurable, which is what you said, it does move you in a particular way. Hence, the Congregationalists, what did they do? They removed all images. Why?
So as to
What was their original thing? The removal of all images.
To remove pleasure as the focus.
So you don't distract.
So you're not distracted by
External.
externals. We're in first step. What's the purpose of the altar in a temple?
It's an external reminder.
So you focus. Anyone else? This is right effort, first level. Beginning, I just walked. I'm just looking to have some interest. You should be able to articulate this clearly. Why?
Because we're closer to that than to the other end.
Thank you. You got it. And if you don't know what you're doing at that beginning it there, you are so right. You got it. So let's say you have, in fact, done this, and you've done the right effort, and you've been walking that journey through right effort at the beginning with the five senses being, and you now have an interest. That's what you really want. Then what happens? You know there's something else. And what do you use now? What vehicle?
The mind.
The mind. What does that mean? The mind. Do you know what the mind is? Answer. That's right. Your answer is no. So what's the right effort? Because you don't know you're using your mind. What's the right effort?
I would say you need to ask someone further along, and you need to start learning.
Right, but what are you going to do? Because you're just going to a local whatever, or you've decided, and so what are you going to do? Start to study, read scriptures. You're going to pick up books all over. You're going to go onto Amazon and buy all those books, and you're going to look at those books, and you're going to learn anything. But you're going to think you did, didn't you? You're going to think you know. So how many people have, how many here are Olympic athletes in here? Oh. No one here? Okay. How many people did Division I sports in their university college? Okay. One. Anyone else? How many people, because we're also other people, did varsity at wherever they were? Okay. Did you need a coach?
Yes.
Why? Couldn't you just go out on the field or wherever and play the game? Why not?
Because I didn't have the knowledge.
You didn't have the knowledge. But you can pick up a book from Amazon and read it and know that that person who's written it, even if they are an expert, and the scripture, you pick it up, you read it, you know. You understand? Huh? There's a lot of yeses in there. Yeah?
The other reason you need a coach is that you can't watch yourself. So no matter how good you might think you are, you don't know what you look like.
One of the things we did, as I did when we were doing performances in group performances as a dancer, is we would start the dance, and then the choreographer would say, "Stop." Mid-dance, stop. And there would be 7 people, all stopped in different places. And the choreographer would say, "Look in the mirror. You're not all doing the same step. You're not all at the same place. Just saying." And then everybody had to work to then be able to. In practice of Tai Chi, who's the enemy the first 10 years? Yourself. And what's the purpose? To clean yourself out. And by that is physical, mental, emotional, and every level. And so if you're your own opponent, then the opponent across is what size? Same as you. So if you're going to punch yourself in the gut and you punch up here, are you doing right effort? No, you have to know, oh, the gut's right here, the gut's here, it's here, it's here. So what do you need in order to do that? Someone to show you, someone to correct you. Okay, but I got on Amazon, I got my books. Are you actually doing second level? No. But you think you are, hence the word think. So what is second level? Right effort. Second level right effort.
It would be understanding concepts with the help of a teacher, rather than just reading it and having your own ideas. It's understanding expert knowledge.
First we have to do what? Yeah, you go to that. Now we become aware of an internal conversation. That we have always had with ourselves. A me-to-me dialogue. Both of these voices are alternately seen as the subject. Have you noticed that? Whenever you're speaking, it's you. It's you. We do not yet see that both voices are the same voice. That there is only ever one voice. You shouldn't have done that. I didn't mean to. Well, you hurt somebody. I'm sorry. Who's speaking?
Same voice.
Same voice. Same voice. How many people think one of them is you? Interesting. With work, we disentangle enough that the entire mental conversation becomes observable. That means what?
Becomes an object.
Becomes an object. What becomes an object?
No, it's your thoughts, like individual thoughts, but there's a line in the blog, like right after this, it's like, for me, it was like you can't observe the mind until you're out of it. But you're still a thought observing a thought at that point.
Exactly. So it's a third voice or subject, third subject, now observing what?
That conversation.
Or it's just the second
Oh, yeah.
voice of subject
Yeah.
observing the subject-object dialogue that was happening before. Gets to be funny. However, at this point, the observer is still an object of the mind. Correct? Can that observer be observed? By what? At this point. And so, if you don't ask that question, you are not doing what level of practice? So you're back where? Looking at pretty pictures, smelling nice scents, showing up. Yeah. We do not understand that seeing an object produced by the mind is not the same as seeing the mind. This is where reflection begins. And this is where you start to actually do second level. And what does St. Simeon say about second level in the worst sense? It is thought fighting thought. Is it saying thought watching thought? No. Why not?
That would be passive.
That would be passive.
Fighting thought, to my mind, would be cleaning, clarifying, eliminating.
Right. You keep on, you're cleaning that mirror. You're cleaning that mirror. You're cleaning that mirror. You're cleaning that mirror. Yeah.
I think one of the things about thought fighting thought is, as Tanya was saying, there's that wrestling component. So you're wrestling with ideas, and when you realize that that certain concepts are not understandable from an intellectual standpoint, you have to wrestle with concepts to get to the point where you see that not everything can be understood from the mind, and then that opens up the opportunity to say there must be something more.
Right. Just as I went to King's Chapel, beautiful service, exquisite. Every element of it was gorgeous. Gorgeous. I feel uplifted. All five senses are just like, and then I walk out, and what happens? I'm looking at the ice cream, well, that would be nice. Yeah.
So Kingsbury is a bad example.
Yeah. I'm like walking out on King's Parade and I'm like, yeah, no.
All the tourists.
Yeah, it's rainy.
There we go. It's rainy and cold. Yes. Okay. That's as good as we're going to get. But, so I know it's not enough. I want something more. I need to know that me having that wonderful conversation that I have all the time with myself is not enough. And are you bored with your conversation? No. Are you bored with your 100%, right? Are you bored with your conversation? You're so done, you're done. Are you bored with you're done? Are you bored with your conversation? Not yet. Are you bored with your conversation? Not yet. There we go, not yet. Great. So what are you practicing at best? What are you practicing at best?
At best.
Articulate. What are you practicing? What are you interested in? Thought. If you're interested in thought, what are you practicing? If you were interested in looking at the pretty incense burner and the pictures, the icons, what would you be practicing? So what are you practicing? What are you interested in practicing? Second level. And are you getting anywhere? But you're not bored, so you keep going. You go, guys. Keep on going. Thought fighting thought. You let me know when you get bored enough. So the story, the narrative, let me tell you my story again. Let me tell you my story again. Not only let me tell you my story again, let me have another reincarnation of that story. With different, I changed the actors, but they play the same characters, but the actors have changed. And we do it again. It's John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Second verse, same as the first. A little bit louder, a little bit worse. Okay. So let's say, how many people are bored with their dialogue? Raise your hands. They've had enough. Okay, so you guys you now know what your right effort is, correct? The second level folks, right? You know what your right effort is. And what is your right effort? Articulate it. What's your right effort? Clara, articulate it. What's your right effort?
Is to separate myself from the conversation.
Not yet. Nope, you're not there yet. Yep.
We have to.
You don't know that you should separate your conversation. You're in second level. You're interested in your conversation. So?
To keep doing the conversation until we get bored. So it has to be, we have to consciously be doing the conversation.
That's right. You are investigating and looking at your conversation. Yeah?
You have to map the conversation.
You got to map the conversation. Hence, several years ago, I told somebody to just write down what he thought. Just write down what he thought. And I came into class and I said, "Did you do it?" No. And that was the end of that person because they weren't willing to see what they actually thought. Mapping down what you actually think. Are you now beginning to at least understand? So you think you read scripture and you think you understand. Do you understand? Do you check it out? If you're doing second level, do you check it out? Yes. Yeah, you should. If you're doing good, right effort, second level, you're not sitting there. You're at the beginning of second level, reading all the books and deciding. I decided all the jargon, I know the meanings. How many people have heard the word mindfulness? That's okay. You're right with me. I'm there. Okay, mindfulness. Does anybody even question the meaning? Or you have a conversation with somebody and you believe everybody's on the same page of that word? Somebody who's very, very smart and practicing and going actually asked me about to respond to direct path. Is that what it is? Yeah. I didn't know. I had never heard that phrase. So I said, I'll get back to you. Because I had my idea of what I knew it was a thing. What's that person? What's the jargon? It turns out it's a particular thing. So I can then answer it because I have my idea of what direct path is. It's not necessarily what that. So hence the beginning of reflection. Reflection is needed. Why?
Can I just say one thing about the reading? I think, is it fair to say that reading could also be a first level practice? Because you go to church, you listen to the readings, and it just sounds pretty.
Yeah, that's not sitting, yes.
And that's, I guess, one how you could distinguish between what is second level actual study versus first level.
Yeah, because in second level, you would actually be asking the questions.
Right. It's engaging with the text. It's not just ritualistically listening to it or reading it.
Right. If you just read the blog once and then you don't do anything, you're not engaging. So,
but on that though, like if you were to, without really thinking, without applying that depth of study, if you are actually, really learning and knowing the scripture to, the point where you could quote it or something like that, you are, in a way, kind of learning a map of a system.
Right, but you got to be careful because I can quote, but I haven't done a close reading.
Right.
If you haven't done a close reading, you just get a pretty picture.
Yeah.
You haven't done multiple close readings.
Yes,
But
multiple.
would that really learning it to the point where you know it as a system without doing the close reading, would that be first level or would that be beginning, second level?
I think that's the beginning of second level
It's
because
sort of
you're
on the-
still
right.
engaging.
Because you could be learning prayers in Latin or Sanskrit or something that actually have no direct meaning to you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a bit different.
That's different. That's different because you're doing the
That's just-
sound. You're doing the
Yeah,
nature
yeah,
of the
you get
sound
the sound stuff there. That's
that
very different.
travels differently. Travels differently. That would be, again, you could take one prayer and you go through the different levels of sound, and you're going to go through the different levels of actually practicing it.
Yeah, I mean, you can convert any
You
scriptural
could,
passage into a mantra, basically.
right, you could take broom sweeping into any level.
That's what I was going to ask. So you could take a really great
Painting.
and
Right, or
work
you
at
could
it
take the
multiple
process of
Or the
painting.
process of painting, right? I guess you could. Or you could miss it entirely.
Yeah, or you could miss it entirely. It wasn't like I was trying to get that through to you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Question.
Yes.
In the second level, the thought fighting thought, the reflection, the role of the vibration or the feeling, whatever, however you define it in that. Because to me, it seems like mapping that is important, but also having an awareness of how the vibrations associated with the thoughts drive other thoughts, which are
That's
more
moving
important.
forward. That's moving forward.
Going
Yeah.
pre-verbal.
Yeah, we're going to, you're jumping to pre-verbal. So at the point of fighting thought in the second level, you're dealing with psychology, right? The words, you're using words, mantra. So your endless conversations are what? Mantras that you are not bored with. Alphabets. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, that was a joke. Okay, so that's exactly right. You're dealing with, and you will have some level of emotional vocabulary. You should have be able to have an emotional vocabulary. Hence why I give out that list of the different emotions. You don't have a vocabulary, how are you going to understand the vibration when you get to it? So that's again reflection, education, and you need to be able to, so if I'm doing my self-effort thing, which, and I'm using the small, self-effort without any instruction, because I've gone to Amazon and I got a bunch of books. And I'm now, am I clear and clean on what I am assessing? No, so I think I'm excited, but what am I really? I might be anxious or a nervous wreck. I am discerning, I'm discerning, but am I really? Have to have, that's hence feedback. Hence feedback. So at that point, is there anything wrong in terms of seeing a therapist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist if necessary? No, because they should be in terms of to help to do what? What's their purpose? Are they going to solve your happiness problems? No, what's their purpose? Yeah.
They can help you, to use a metaphor again, map the terrain of your mental habits and your emotional.
Right. Your mantras, your dialogues, your narratives, your belief systems.
I think the exercise of writing down what the dialogue actually is,
Mm-hmm.
I think most people would think that it would take up a lot of space. And it's
No, it's just
Same thing.
ibid, 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 ibid,
Or it's one
ibid.
thing and then the opposite right after.
Right.
And then back to the first thing.
That's ibid. That's the dialogue,
Pattern.
the pattern. Yep. I have said that there are only so many tapes. And there are just so many tapes. And I rather listen to James Brown, but I don't know. And I really like some of Prince. But obviously you guys like. And I don't, you're not bored. Okay. So instead of using the senses, we now engage with letters, words, and thoughts. We study scripture. We study ourselves. We question. And we work toward an intellectual understanding. Do we have great understanding? Ultimate understanding? No, but we'll have intellectual understanding. So I can discuss non-dualism maybe, if I've really worked hard, but and I can be silly enough to call myself a non-dualist, but what would be the problem with that? Yeah, I'm still having a double conversation. I am not a non-dualist. I am still within where? The mind and the system. I am within the dialectic. Dialectic. Yes, you got it. So I'm not interested in dualistic understanding. I'm a non-dualist. Really? Interesting. So we have so far had interest and desire helping us along the way, without any understanding of the vehicle from which interest and desire arises. I'm going to read that again. We have so far had interest and desire helping us along the way, without any understanding of the vehicle from which interest and desire arises. To deepen our practice, we must now actively engage the will. Now, in the scriptures, and we're doing right now the Shiva Sutras, Icha Shakti, the Shakti of will, is so important. Will, everywhere. Yoga Sutras. How about Exodus? Do you think will was involved in there? A bit. How about in New Testament? Yes. How about in the Quran? Yep. Is there a scripture, we go to Buddhism, we go anywhere, that doesn't include the need for will being appropriately directed? No. So we begin by turning our attention literally into the chest and bore inward. Why?
Because that's the way to get to the heart.
Could we go any other way?
No. Well,
Actually, yes.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you could. But what's the optimum word that's being used?
Inward.
Nope.
Or
Nope. Nope.
Well,
I didn't use the word.
oh.
Thank you. We.
The.
By. Comma. Period. Done. Cashmere. Attention. What's attention? Will. Awareness. Will.
It's awareness with agency.
Yeah. Agency. Ah. Agency. Awareness. Agency. We are still at this point engaging the mind. Correct? 100%. But also the will. So we're shifting. Eventually, this will take us into the heart. But it is not until we actually what? Get out of the mind. You have to surrender. But how many people sat there in their minds and surrender? I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I'm surrendering. You're not. Yes, I am. And where are we at now? Back doing our conversation. But it is not until we actually get out of the mind when we have been graced with the experience of the witness rather than just another observer within the mind. That we are moving in the right direction. So what is needed at this point? And what's the purpose?
The light to
have to have an awakening.
make you aware of where you're going.
Oh, but I can sit here and talk about it.
Yeah, but that's not going to do it.
That's not going to do it. I read the books. They talked about it.
It still didn't do it for me.
It's still not going to do it.
Gives you the experience.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that, or are you just saying that? Do you believe it, or are you just saying that? Is that your own words? Yeah, is that your own words? Are those your own words? No. So where are you? In your mind having a conversation.
Can I say, as you've pointed out, grace can break you through 1,000 different ways. Any incident,
Can do.
even a trauma, can do it.
Maybe a guy pulling a gun on someone when they're 19 years old. Oh, that's me. Yeah. All kinds of experiences. A trauma can do that. Being in war. Remember, Vijnana Vairava.
Looking at a work of art.
Looking at a work of art can give you that moment.
Yeah.
can
Any
break it.
sudden thing.
The experience of the witness is a moment of grace. Why? What is it doing? What is its importance? Articulate.
To wake you up, to make you.
Is it to show you that there's something else
Besides what?
besides, for me, my conversation?
No. Go ahead, Tanya.
Besides you.
Besides you. But where are you at that point in that moment? With God. So you're greater than what at that moment?
Yourself.
Your idea of self, your conversation. You're greater than your narrative. So you've been thrown, just like in the Vijnana Bhairava, you've been thrown out of what?
System.
Keep going. Out of your mind. You should be able to say that. That you have been thrown out of your mind. If you have not been thrown out of your mind, where are you? And no, you're in your mind. You're in your mind.
Not necessarily
Not even doing
even
second
first level.
Yeah.
You're just
In your mind. Just in your mind. It is the reason why a guru and initiation are vital to this journey. Without them, we remain stuck in our minds. And for me, how sad. If we remain stuck in our minds, the best we are doing is what? Thought fighting thought. Yes. When, after practicing at great length, without interruption and with great devotion, we arrive in the heart, we rest there. There is no thought, but stillness, bliss, and complete consciousness. So, in that process of boring in is where what Tanya was asking about vibration, the willingness to be with the vibration, whatever that is. And let the letters arise from the vibration, not superimposing my idea, because then I'm back at making projections and ideas. So at that point, I'm resting in nonverbal, in that vibration, and I let the letters arise from there. And as they arise, those letters, then if you're ever been actually have done that, there's like, whoa, surprise, or yes, or I understand it now. And as those allow, and just be with them, no, because are we supposed to then be going to thought fighting? No, we just let arise.
That's where you keep using the will to possess the tendency.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
To move, to take that sort of to the physical plane.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I think about, I don't know if it's correctly thinking or not, but until one can do that, stay with the attention in the heart, let the letters arise, and not let that take you back to fighting thought or acting, even worse.
Worse, yeah.
Then it's very, very hard to ever have discernment.
Yes. You can't. It's all muddied.
Yeah.
It's totally muddied.
It's non-verbal, but it's not it still has incredible impact on the physical plane.
Correct. So, absolutely a vital point, because a lot of people like the energy and they like the Shakti and and this is what I've been saying. And so, and the Shakti is all knowing, but are you? Are your vehicles clear and clean? So, as I've been saying, when it rains, my garden is a downhill garden. So when it rains, where does the water flow? Downhill. But the Shakti's all knowing, so I just let it be. And what happens? What happens?
Dirt's gone.
The dirt's gone. And where does it go?
Neighbor's house.
Neighbor's house. So what have I done and modeled for all of you these last few years with that garden?
You need to work at it.
I worked at maintenance of what? Of what? In what way?
You discerned what was necessary to have it be vital, to have it function.
To have it function. So, like swales, so that the water didn't go down, the dirt, swales, holes with rocks in it to absorb the water, all kinds of water management. Directed. So it's using what? Will. In an appropriate way. But if I'm just going to be, oh, we're all one, and the Shakti goes, my neighbor has an amazing amount of my mulch. That's a very important point, because we cannot, if you just let it all and you're all thinking the Shakti's going to just do it all for you, you missed the point of right effort. And then it's just, to continue with the water, muddied expression into the world. Inappropriate decision making into the world.
It's like, as you know yourself and the things, your thoughts, it's like, you know, when you need to be, you know, what your triggers are, and how, like, instead of reacting to them, you have like the tools to, like, not.
I don't have to do this. Yes, you have discernment. Whereas if you're just deciding it's all the Shakti and it'll guide me and I don't have to do anything, and I just let everything, that I've got the grace, I've had the awakening, and then I don't need to do anything. My vehicles will just, it's all God. Then I am going to say things inappropriately, I'm going to act inappropriately, I'm going to be inappropriate in major ways in the world. Mm-hmm.
In the metaphor of the garden, I want to make sure I don't take it too far. But my understanding is that the Shakti would be more energy, more rain coming down. And if it's not being channeled properly, you said when I first met you, you're going to experience some things.
Mm-hmm.
Life, not your words, but life is going to be more intense, more vivid. Be ready.
Mm-hmm.
And so that in a way, coming here, having Shakti flowing, could just amplify our worst tendencies.
It does amplify your worst tendencies. Not could. It will.
It is.
It is. It is. It does. That is. And I've been talking about the whole thing of the world. And what's happening is amplification of what's there. Absolutely 100%. It does.
And it can sometimes be quite shocking and dramatic how much somebody coming into this house can suddenly have their very worst characteristics amplified to an unbelievable degree.
Mm-hmm.
And it is exactly that. If you've got a leak, to use a metaphor, firing putting a fire hose on it is only going to make that leak grow and be more visible than ever before.
Yes. Yes. Yep. Oh, 100%. So if you're not doing the right effort,
You're gonna spew.
all over the world. Yes. All over the world. Yes.
So where does, like, your honest answer of the moment, like, is that a second level? Or is that...
What are you using?
Because I'm not really sure. Your mind, still.
And what are you learning?
You're learning your actual...
You're learning your system. Because when you answer correctly, in terms of honestly, do you get to see how you actually operate?
Yeah.
And that it always changes too. That it's like so that it's not.
Yeah, you're either a 6 out of 10 or an 80. So you always, well, this time it worked. Yeah, because you got that one moment out of the 10. You lucked out that time. That's why I say 10 out of 10 times on a regular basis to get off the grid. And what happens when you get off the grid?
Get out of your mind.
You're getting out of your mind. What happens when you experience that you get the 8 yeses? What happens experientially? Calm? Drops. You downshift. Yeah.
So one thing that I keep thinking about here is in that movie War Games, where the computer
Yes.
tic-tac-toe against
Yes.
itself.
Yes.
So it has to play all combinations before it
100%.
realizes that you can't win. And then that's essentially what you're doing with the precautionary.
Exactly.
Once you get all yeses, there's no option from within the systems. You have to go outside of the system.
Yes. Hence, he says,
The only way
wait,
is not to
play. So and in that movie, he says, would you like to play something else? How about a nice game of chess or something? I think is what he says. Yeah. Eventually, we remain always in the heart, enlivening our vehicles from there as needed to function in the world. This is the state of Sahaj Samadhi, walking bliss. The mind, as the vehicle it is, thinks only when given permission. The self does not think. It is pure consciousness and knows. If you are thinking, I am enlightened, where are you? In your mind having a conversation with whom?
Yourself.
A me to me. If you think you are deciding where you are in the itinerary of the mystical itinerary, where are you? In the mind. You're really close to the beginning. Now, I had wanted to do 2 other things, but this was I'm happy with this. I would like to next time, so I would like you to prepare. Max had asked a question in EU Satsang about the difference between psychological crises and spiritual crises. And I think that would be a good topic. Most of what everybody has that they call a spiritual crisis is, in fact, a psychological crisis. Just saying. And when people say they're having a spiritual crisis, usually they're very proud of that. I'm in the middle of a very intense spiritual crisis. Okay, good for you. I'm going to go have a cup of tea and a biscotti and wear my cashmere. To each his own. Thank you.